You're watching Week in One. We are heading for a big week with the Oscar Pistorius trial. 4 days have been set aside for sentencing of the Paralympian. Pistorius was found not guilty of murder last month, but he was convicted of culpable homicide for the killing of his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp on February 14th last year. Well, to tell us what we can expect in the coming days from the North Gauteng High Court, I'm joined now by reporter Karyn Maughan. Karyn, thank you for your time. Thanks for joining us on Week in One. What can we expect to happen from Monday?
Well, essentially, Yuveka, what is going to happen is that the state and the defence will lead witnesses that they believe help assist the judge in reaching a decision about the length of Oscar Pistorius' sentence, should he serve one, or if he should indeed get a custodial sentence, non-custodial sentence, and the possible options around that. They will then argue over those issues, and she will then reach a decision potentially even this week. We know that she is hoping to deliver her decision on that issue either on Wednesday or Thursday.
Karyn, are we expecting to only hear from the legal teams during these arguments, or can we expect to hear maybe from both the families and also witnesses we haven't heard from before?
No, Yuveka, I think that's a very good question. We do expect the state to want to lead testimony from the people who loved Riva Steenkamp, potentially even her parents, to really bring across to the court the enormous loss that her death has had on the people that loved her. We also expect Oscar Pistorius' legal team not specifically to lead family members, but to lead experts, potentially a psychologist, probation officer, to really get a sense across to the court that they don't believe that he is indeed a viable person who should be sent to jail, that he's not ideally a candidate who should be sent to prison, and that in fact he should get a non-custodial sentence, potentially even correctional supervision.
Well, following the Jub appeal over the past week, a lot of questions being asked about what will happen to Oscar Pistorius. Are we likely to see him go to jail for a certain amount of time, or are we likely to just see maybe some sort of suspended sentence or maybe some kind of house arrest indeed?
I think the expectation is that he will serve some form of jail time. It just will really be about the length. It would be an extraordinary judgment and certainly a very brave decision on behalf of the judge if he wasn't given jail time. We know that people like Jub Marahanye, in which, convicted or successfully overturning his murder conviction and getting a culpable homicide conviction, got an effective 8 years in jail. We know that the highest recent culpable homicide sentence that we've seen being given was to Sibusiso Langa, of course, was responsible for the deaths of 5 joggers who he plowed his car into. The court finding that he showed no remorse and saying that he should spend 12 years in jail. The maximum sentence that Pistorius could get could be 15 years, but certainly in my recent experience and over the last few years and going through the law reports, I certainly haven't been able to find a case like that.
Is there likely to be an appeal from either side in this case? What do you think?
I think a lot of legal pundits are expecting an appeal from the state because they believe that the state has a legal basis in which to contend that the judge incorrectly did not find Oscar Pistorius guilty of murder under the principle of dolus eventualis, or indirect intent. So certainly there is very much a belief from a lot of legal experts that the state may well choose to appeal the decision on that basis.
Well, one thing's for sure, next week this time we will know. Karyn Maughan, thank you so much. And of course, our eNCA team will be at court taking proceedings live from Monday, so do join us. It promises to be a fascinating week. That wraps up our top stories of the past week here on eNCA. Join us again next week for more news highlights. Take care. Have a great week.